Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Bob here again, and today I've got something a little bit different in store for you. Instead of focusing on just an Arken optic, I'm going to pull into the mix an Athlon optic. Came out to the range today. It is cold, hunting season's over, but I've got a little bit of time. We don't have a lot of snow yet, so range time's always good. What I brought with me today are two Ruger rifles, super popular rifles. I've got the Ruger Precision 22 long rifle, as well as I brought out here my son's Ruger 1022. Now, the Ruger Precision is just the way it comes out of the box, aside from the optic, a bipod clip to it, and this little bag rider. The Ruger 1022 that I'm going to show you over there, it's got the Magpul Hunter stock on it, so it'll fit him a little bit better. It's adjustable, as well as it has the Ruger forged barrel, the heavy barrel, so it's a little project gun for him. That rifle is equipped with the Athlon Talos BTR optic, while the Ruger Precision has the Arken SH4 Gen 2 on it. So I'm going to cut to both of these rifles, do a little pan over, and let you look at the guns. Not going to do a lot of shooting, there's enough of that out there, but I will do some shoot through of both optics and let you decide, hey, are these optics actually comparable? Because price wise, they do run, they're in the same bracket, they run about the same or really close for the same price. They're both first focal plane optics. A magnification range on these two I'll show you are pretty close. So these are two scopes that would run in the same category. So let me cut this off and let me get you guys a quick shot of both of these rifles. All right, so here we are. This rifle is the Ruger Precision 22 long rifle. And as I was mentioning, you can see there's nothing been done to this gun. You know, these things come in a couple different colors, and this is the one that comes in coyote or brown of some sort. I'm not sure what they actually call that color, but you know, it's kind of a brown. So optic wise, I've got the SH4 Gen 2 4-16 by 50, and this is the mil version of the scope. So here we are. Here's our Ruger. Quick little pan through the Ruger Precision. Nice rifle. These things shoot pretty good. Trigger, a little heavy from the factory, but all in all, for the price of these things, they're, I believe, in the maybe just under $500 range for these guns. They shoot pretty good. I've got some other Precision 1022s that cost considerably more, and they do shoot a little bit better, but this thing shoots pretty nice. A lot of adjustability going on here, so it can fit a lot of different people. So again, anyway, here's the Ruger Precision 22 long rifle set up with the SH4 Gen 2. All right, and now here we have the Ruger 1022. And this gun's had a little bit done to it. You can see it doesn't have a standard barrel or a standard Ruger stock on it. We've got the Magpul Hunter, and these are pretty nice. You can change the comb height, you can add some length to it. Again, I said this is my son's rifle. He's a teenager, he's a little bit shorter than me, so I was able to add these spacers in here today to do some shooting with it. As well, this has the Ruger hammer forged barrel on it, which is pretty nice, and it did improve the accuracy of this rifle. So if you've got a 1022 and you're looking to, you know, kind of deck it out or do something fun with your son or your own gun, these barrels are a good little option, and they're easy to install. So, but optic wise, we're running the Athlos 4-14 by 44, and this is the Talos, and they call it the BTR. This is the first focal plane version and the standard full-length, you know, rifle option for this package. These things, again, I believe they run, you know, somewhere in that $300 range. So it does stack up well with the SH4 Gen 2. So again, here is the Ruger 1022. I'll do a little quick drive-by for you with this thing. There it is. You know, and the one thing this rifle still needs, and I talked about it a little bit with the Ruger Precision, is this rifle will benefit a lot from a better trigger put in. The trigger pull is extremely heavy on this. The accuracy of this rifle improved a lot with this barrel, and even the stock helped out, but this trigger pull is really heavy on it. So Ruger does make their own lighter target trigger, and I know there's some aftermarket ones out there, and this stuff's all pretty affordable. These things have become like ARs. There's all kinds of parts and things out there for the Ruger 1022. So enough of me jabbering. Let me get a little bit of shoot through for you guys and see what you think of this scope compared to the SH4 Gen 2. All right, so to get this shoot through footage, I'm simply going to use my phone, and you guys can see how I do this. It's not super complicated, but it does take a little bit of work to get things steady. So I am going to hold my phone up, and I'm going to get this thing lined up behind the scope here. And sometimes I'll use the GoPro or a different camera, but the phone seems to be smallest to wiggle this thing around and get it in place for you. So here we've got the scope set up on a magnification of 14, and we are at 50 yards. All right, now let me get the Arken for comparison. All right, so comparison-wise, I've got the Ruger Precision all set up with the Arken SH4 in it. So let me get this thing up and get some shoot-through for you guys. So I'm gonna, again, get this set up behind the rifle here. And hold it steady. Here we go. Again, I've got this set up at 14, and we are at 50 yards again. All right, guys, so there it is. There you have it. Not a whole lot here, but kept it short and sweet. You've got two optics that are in about the same price range, strapped on two rifles that cost about the same, and a little bit of shoot through. So what do you think? Are these optics comparable? Should they be priced the same? Will they both do the same, and do they both work fine? You decide. Opinion-wise for me, what I'm going to say is I think that the Athlon glass itself, at least at 50 yards, is plenty clear. The Arken is as clear as well. You may notice as I was moving the camera back and forth a little bit, you get a little bit of that shadow around the edge. It is cold, I'm shaking, and it's hard to hold steady some. But the drawback that I'm finding with that Athlon, and what I would see as being a bit of a barrier if you wanted to use this for some target shooting, would be how thick the lines are on the reticle. The SH4 Gen 2 has a nice, real fine dot on it, and you can really pinpoint, especially with this 22 long rifle stuff, where you want those rounds to go. The Athlon, not so much. They're really thick lines. Hunting situation, hey, maybe that would work out better, but again, you've got to decide. So two scopes, these things run in the 300-ish, up and down, maybe it's a little bit range, depending on time of the year, season, and availability. But again, you decide. So hope you like this stuff. Follow along. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, follow. Give me some contents. What do you think? Are you running an SH4 Gen 2 on something, or one of these Athlon scopes? All right, so keep shooting. Whoa, hold up. Running out of here too quick. I've just talked about the glass, so the rest of the optics, you guys can go through and look at the specs on these things. The Arken has the 34mm tube, the Athlon has the 30mm tube. The other features that a lot of people want to talk about, tracking, you know, I didn't test that today. We all know these Arkens, reliable 100% tracking, and I do think there's some content out there with the Athlon of them talking about the tracking being pretty good on them. But in that same area, turrets. The turrets on the Arken, we all know what those things are. Click, click, click. Solid, audible, a real good snap between each click. The Athlon, not so much. The turrets on that thing, other people best describe those as mushy, and I'm going to say the same. You can feel the clicks on each of them, but it doesn't take very much force to go from click to click on the Athlon optic. You can, you know, discern each click, but there's not much tension. It's something in a hunting situation, I might almost be concerned that if you were rubbing through some brush, or if you had the rifle on a sling on your back, you might even turn a turret not knowing it. But there that is. The setup, the Athlon is super simple. There's just one screw you loosen up, pull the cap off. Nice and simple. I don't think that's going to be a problem, and we all know how the Arken works. You've got your small set screws on it. So aside from that, I ran out of here a little bit too quick because it is cold. So anyway, so let's end this thing for real now. There's your two optics, $300 range. What do you think? Do these things stack up? Have I swayed you one way or the other? You decide.